Welcome back to the Grodnards, where today we are talking about... What are we talking about?
Batman versus Iron Man.
Okay, we are talking about just that.
Yeah.
Alright, and I'm obviously... Oh, dude, I keep doing this. Wrong arm. I'm obviously thinking Batman's gonna win.
Right the first time.
Yeah, Odin's going to just show up and win.
Yeah, he's an Odin fan, so you know which universe he's a fan of.
I'm also a Zombie Shakespeare fan.
Yeah.
And a Vlad the Impaler fan.
Yeah, all of those are in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. Zombie Shakespeare?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Marvel zombies.
you know what?
Marvel zombies, man.
BoJack Horseman isn't in it, though. This is another in a long series of regrettable life decisions. I got this tattoo after a bender. I didn't even know I scheduled the tattoo because I was that fucked up.
He is more likely in the Marvel universe than the DC universe because LA doesn't exist in the DC universe.
That's true, and I mean, Marvel does have Thor's.
Yeah.
I forget what that guy's real name is. Yeah, it is like Bill Ray.
Yeah.
Bill Ray Buck?
No. I always forget his name. Beta Ray Bill. Yep, that's his name. But they do actually have a Throg, though, which is a Thor frog.
I have seen that.
He really exists in the main Marvel universe.
I think I have the hero click of that somewhere. Yeah. When you're looking at this, you have to remember one thing. And this is a law of the DC Universe per Dark Knight's Metal. Batman always wins.
The problem
Dear
is
God,
that they are perfect matches in that aspect. Iron Man always wins.
There is no stated law of the universe, though.
They are both,
even though it's the dumbest thing.
Geniuses, right?
That I will give Iron Man that.
Yeah. And they are both win every time with prep time.
Iron Man doesn't seem to do a lot of prep time. He seems to rush in a lot.
Every single plot of his is just like, oh, I've got an idea on how to do this, and then he manifests a solution. Like in fucking Endgame, or is Endgame the first part or the second part?
Second.
Yeah.
Whichever I haven't seen that one. I saw Infinity War.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah,
and
it's Infinity War.
When everyone died, I was like, okay, this is the ending for me. I don't want this. I'm happy.
And then in
everyone
Endgame, Iron Man creates a time machine.
Alright, so they both have a healthy amount of plot contrivance. We can admit that.
Yes. He also created an Infinity Gauntlet.
A brand new Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah. In the same movie. He made two of them. Because there was a secret one that he didn't tell anybody about. Because he built it into his arm.
That is almost as bad as Dark Knight's Metal. Alright, so we'll have to factor in that plot contrivance exists heavily for both of them. I still think Batman has more plot contrivance, but let's set that aside for now. I will admit that Iron Man definitely has the upper edge when it comes to personal gear. I mean, his standard loadout is far superior to Batman's.
His standard loadout is...
Now, next up we have to look at fighting ability. Admittedly, Iron Man doesn't have a whole lot, but he has a lot more strength behind everything.
Yeah.
And
he doesn't really do kicks or punches.
Yeah, so he's mainly fighting from range.
Yeah.
And EMPs do not work on his armor. I am well aware of that. He made it EMP proof because that's the basic thing you have to do when you're using a power suit. How rich is he?
It's never stated an exact number, but he does fully fund the Avengers.
So, bear in mind, I am not super familiar with the Avengers overall.
Yeah.
What sort of properties do they have?
Well, they have Avengers Tower in New York, and then they have a complex that's somewhere else. And then they also have, in the comics, they have a space station.
Okay, so we can assume he's at the same level of wealth as Batman. Because Batman's doing the same shit.
Yeah, same level of wealth.
Then,
at the very least.
Yeah. You know, they never actually specify what Wayne Corp actually does.
I mean, they're very clear on what Stark Tech.
Yeah, it's like weapons.
Or Stark
but
Industries.
Can you actually think what Wayne Corp does?
They do business.
Yeah. Business and paperwork.
Yeah.
And commerce.
Yeah, they do commerce.
Yeah.
He's in the business.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that Wayne Tech also does weapons
To some extent,
because he's able to get all of his all of his gear through Wayne Tech. Through somebody who works at
Yeah, but he also, while they have a weapons division, it's also stated they don't do military work. They don't sell any of the stuff.
They're in multiple industries, including aerospace, technology, biotech, shipping, shipbuilding, foods, medicine, electronics, entertainment, alternative energy, steel, chemicals, and philanthropy. I didn't know philanthropy was a business.
Yeah, apparently it is.
Industry, but I guess it is.
I mean, if you're a corrupt philanthropic organization.
Here's what it is then. It's whatever the story needs it to be.
Yeah. What is the chance that Bruce Wayne will be able to do a forced corporate takeover of Stark Industries?
Batman wins by buying Stark Industries.
Yes.
They would have to like liquidate a lot of their assets to do it. Because it would be like Google buying Apple. Like just like giant corporation on the same size as this other giant corporation buying each other.
This is Batman. Do you really think he is not petty enough to do that?
Has he ever tried to purchase LexCorp?
Actually, I don't think so, so you may have a point. Alright, so economically, they're on even ground.
Yeah.
So next, we have to go to the next factor.
Intelligence.
So they're definitely intelligent in completely different ways.
Yeah.
Batman's more analytical, more focused on non-mechanical problem solving. He's focused on tactics, strategy, logistics, planning out every conceivable outcome. I mean, this is a guy who has complex folders within folders of cataloging every single person's weakness and everything else.
Yeah. And Iron Man is not too far away from that, but his thinking is a little bit more technical. He's breaking down everything that he knows to try and find a solution, and then hyper-focusing on that solution, trying to build the best possible outcome. So he's not creating a shit ton of contingencies and just casting a net and being like, no matter what, I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
He's instead hyper-focusing on one singular weakness that he's observed, and then creating plan A and plan B. And then plan C is get the fuck out of there. And often plan C is, I'm not there in the first place.
So I definitely think that as far as the actual intellect goes, when it comes to this matchup, just for the sake of the fight, I think Batman has the edge. I think his tactical acumen would be superior.
That's the reason why Iron Man is the owner of the Avengers, but not the leader of the Avengers. He pays for everything, but Captain America that does all the leadership.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I mean, Superman's the leader of the Justice League, but to be fair, who wants to listen to Batman? He's an asshole. And Tony Stark is an alcoholic and drug addict.
They have way too much in common.
Yeah. Well, Batman's at least sober, unfortunately. He's less relatable for that.
They show him as sober, but I really feel like Batman has a thing for whiskey.
Yeah, the only time I can think of him drinking was in The Dark Knight Returns. He's drinking champagne after a race, and he's reminiscing with Jim Gordon about the times he would fake drinking champagne by actually drinking, like, sparkling water, so that way he could remain sober if they needed him as Batman, and then he would fake being drunk all the time.
That's what he says.
I mean, I guess that's
I'm not drunk. I'm just pretending to be drunk.
Well, to be fair, I think Frank Miller's Batman also just kind of gets off fully on being Batman. This is the Batman who kidnapped Robin and told him to eat rats in the basement and then slapped Alfred whenever Alfred prepared him a meal.
God damn.
Frank Miller, man. It's great. He also made the chick who's just like a giant butch lesbian who's topless and has swastika nipple pasties. Frank Miller, man. It's great.
He didn't do that weird shit when he was doing Marvel Comics, because he did a lot of the Daredevil stuff early on.
Yeah, I mean, Frank Miller got progressively crazier over time. A lot of that shit happened in 2006.
Yeah. He was gone from Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
By then. Yeah, Marvel got good Frank Miller.
I mean, so did DC. They had
DC
the Dark
got-
Knight Returns.
DC got crazy.
No, dude, they got the best Frank Miller story ever, Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
That's one of the definitive. Okay, but moving on to the next bit. So, intellect. They're a bit of an edge towards Batman. Wealth, have to give a little bit of an edge towards Batman, but it's not nearly as consequential in all likelihood as the standard gear options. Now, when we're looking into advanced gear options, Iron Man does have the Hulkbuster, but
Yeah.
Batman has the Justice Buster, which
Yeah,
is
I think those
basically
are the
the
same
same thing.
I don't know. The Hulkbuster's a bit bigger. It's a tank.
I mean, that's true, but at the same time, the Justice Buster has more options.
Yeah.
Because it had an option to deal with Wonder Woman, it had an option to deal with Aquaman, with Flash. The only thing it couldn't deal with was Superman at full strength, but nothing can deal with Superman at full strength. Even the Hulkbuster couldn't deal with Hulk at full strength.
Yeah. The Hulkbuster's also autonomous. Because why the fuck would Tony get into the Hulkbuster?
That is fair. Yeah, so that does give him a little bit of an edge, in that that is fully autonomous.
Yeah.
But overall, I think those are equal. Now, it may be worth looking at the Hellbat suit, which is basically the Justice Buster, but designed to be able to actually go toe-to-toe with Darkseid, and it actually worked. Now, it was draining Batman's life force the entire time. It's not exactly something he's likely to bring out, but it is an option.
Yeah.
But because I don't think he's likely, I can't actually give him credit for it. So I'm actually likely to exclude that. Now,
I think it's best to like, make it kind of just like a sudden thing. Like, suddenly they're beside each other. Because otherwise, Batman's gonna have some type of Iron Man-like suit that he's gonna spawn out of nowhere.
yeah.
And then Iron Man's just gonna have a better Iron Man suit that's made to deal with
That's true.
Batman's
I mean,
Iron Man suit.
Batman did, again, Dark Knight Returns, he had an Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
And it looked pretty cool. I really liked it. And it was able to take on Superman when he was weakened from getting nuked and not seeing sunlight for weeks. Wasn't able to smash him. I mean, this isn't Zack Snyder's Batman vs. Superman here, but it did a fair enough job. Best you can really expect from that type of suit. So if they see each other, let's run through this.
Yeah.
Who sees who?
I think Iron Man sees Batman now.
Yeah. Would Iron Man be looking for Batman?
Not exactly. Why are they fighting?
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's really easy to come up with a reason why someone's pissed off at Batman. Once again, I can bring up All-Star Batman and Robin, the one where he kidnapped Robin and forced him to eat rats in a basement cave. In that case, all of the Justice League was pissed at him for making all other superheroes look bad by kidnapping a child, and basically, also in that comic, he burned a bunch of people alive while laughing and then slept with Black Canary in front of all the burning corpses. It was great.
Nice. It's your master tactician.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, All-Star Batman and Robin's kind of its own thing. It's unbelievably stupid, but it's great. I actually want to do a video on that soon. There's plenty of reasons to be pissed at Batman, but if Batman knows you're pissed at Batman, he's going to be prepping. And let's assume then, we could assume then he would have some time to plan, but not a whole lot of time to plan.
We could just say something as simple as, like, Iron Man has something that he's doing, and he's got some machine that's set up, and Batman's trying to turn it off.
That could be an option. I mean, in that case, Batman's going to be relying heavily on stealth and distraction. I think what you'd be likely to see then is, I mean, the Batwing is autonomous as well. He's likely to be using that. He's going to be trying to attack Iron Man in that. But he wouldn't be in it. And he would likely be using his other vehicles and stuff as distractions in order to pull Iron Man away from that machine.
Yeah.
And then likely, whenever Iron Man gets to the machine, once it's turned off, Batman would have laid, like, some form of, like, bomb or trap or something. I mean, depending on what the machine is, he could be turning the machine against Iron Man.
I feel like when Iron Man's being distracted by the jet, he would be warned about Batman going after the machine just by various sensors that he has. That's typically how it would end up going. And he would deploy a drone to try to take care of Batman or one of his spare suits.
Alright, so let's assume one of his spare suits, because that's a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
Now, would that suit be trying to kill or incapacitate?
Iron Man doesn't usually attempt to kill. It's usually just incapacitate.
Why does he have so many bullets then? And plasma blasts? Oh, I'm not
He's a
trying to
weapons
kill.
manufacturer.
Yeah, but that's not exactly a non-lethal tactic.
Batman throws knives at people.
I mean, I guess that's a fair point.
And he's got a tank that he drives in the city and then shoots people with it.
I mean, I guess that's a fair point. But I mean, there are some non-lethal options that Batman employs. He doesn't go straight to tank.
Yeah, like shooting people with a gun that shoots electricity or throwing a knife at them.
And that's another point. Like, how electric-proof are Iron Man suits?
Pretty electric proof. Pretty much it was just the Mark I that wasn't.
Okay. What are the weaknesses of his suits? Do they have any? How do they normally get damaged or destroyed?
Just physical damage.
So in that case, Batman's likely going to have to call in one of his, like, Batmobile tank equivalents.
Yeah. But he's got a million suits.
Yeah. And yeah, they do go Mach 1.
Yeah, he could have all of them there.
In all likelihood, what it would result in a fight like that, Batman would probably try to escape.
It would be a stalemate for a while.
Yeah, but I think Batman is smart enough to realize when he won't win the fight.
Yeah, and I think that Iron Man would be stubborn enough to fight to the death if he had to.
So I do think Batman would flee. He would go to the Batcave and try to set something up then.
Yeah.
Which then brings us basically back to the prep time scenario.
Yeah, and Iron Man would definitely go back and try to create a device to take out Batman. Or just a specific Batman-proof Iron Man suit. A new version of the Iron Man suit specifically to fight Batman. And it would be black and gold.
But I do think that Iron Man would realize he was winning the fight already. And there isn't much he could improve on the suit.
It doesn't matter.
The suits weren't, weren't flawed enough.
He would make a specific suit to destroy Batman.
I mean, what could that suit even entail?
An obsession. It would probably be very similar to a normal Iron Man suit, but I feel like it would have stun weapons. And it would probably have an EMP so that his tech stops working. So that Batman can't use his motorcycle, his...
I think those are also EMP proof.
Oh, of course they are.
Yeah, everything's EMP proof.
Why would they not be?
Dude, this is a continual thing where it seems like it's very likely to be a stalemate with a slight favor to Iron Man.
I told you.
And it definitely seems like they would just continually get into like this Cold War of small skirmish engagements.
Yeah.
Where Iron Man almost ends up winning and they go
Batman
back
gets away.
And form new plans.
I think this is their hell.
Yeah.
This is their hell.
Like
they continuously just attack each other at the same spot every day. And then Batman leaves and Iron Man's like, I'm gonna get him next time. And goes back, creates a new Batman-proof Iron Man suit.
I mean, the thing is, I think the Bat family would be more likely to join in on this grudge then the Avengers would be to join in on Iron Man's side.
But Iron Man has a collection of suits.
Yeah. So then, I mean,
He'd just be mass producing an army,
yeah.
is what he would go to.
But it's not out of the realm of possibility for Batman to end up doing that, especially once he sees it. And then he's likely to end up recreating his Bat robots from Kingdom Come.
We created a grimdark universe
Yeah.
by accident.
Yeah.
This would become the Iron Man army versus the Batman army. And everybody else is the victim.
Yeah, this seems like a scenario that would just keep escalating until someone steps in. And then it's, you both lose. Because eventually, like, Captain America, Superman, they're both gonna be like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
This is Civil War Part 2.
Yeah.
The answer is neither of them. That's who wins.
Yeah.
Neither of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a slight edge to Iron Man, but yeah, Batman's likely to flee. It's likely gonna just keep escalating, get increasingly more nonsensical. I mean, even if, like, he went and, like, fucking demolished, like, Wayne Corp shit, then Batman's likely to do the same to Stark Industries. And there's gonna be a lot of, like, sabotage and shit like that.
In the most important ways when it comes to a fight between them, they are too similar for one of them to gain an edge.
Yeah. Alright, well, that's really all we can say on this matter. Make sure to like the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you want to see videos similar to this one.
See ya.
Do you think Iron Man has ever made, like, fucking robot sets toy? Like, I think he definitely has.
100%.
Yeah. Like, there's no question about it. He made an Iron Woman before an Iron Man.
Probably not before.
Well, definitely immediately after.
Like, immediately when he got home, after making the Mark 1, he created Robo Pussy.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
This needs to be the plot. That was probably how Ultron was created.
The secret of how Ultron was originally
we
created.
figured it out.
That's why he's mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.